Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight for the Cookout Podcast, where we talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling.
We're back as always on Tuesday night. It is April 16th. Thanks for joining us. We are going to we only have CM for a little bit of time, so we're going to first ask her if she has a clown of the week, and we'll get that out of the way first. Do you have a clown of the week, Miss CM?
Yes, I do actually.
All right.
It's two. It's two there.
Okay.
One, actually three. The first two go together. The first two are Triple H and Kevin Nash. They go together like they always have. I don't quite understand why we are telling people that they aren't doing the grind when they are trying to preserve the mental health of their family. We're gonna do that. If you are the comments that Paul Levesque made about Will Ospreay are not cool. The comments about that whole grind thing, not cool, especially when he expressed to you why he was not wanting to leave England and why that meant so much to him and his family. And if you know, you know. If you don't, then please go look it up. It is not my place to say that in this particular instance. However, Kevin, would you not give anything to spend more time with your family when they were growing up? Paul.
Didn't he do that? Isn't that the whole thing with going to WCW? He had less dates and made more money. You got to spend more time with his family.
Paul, you smashed the boss's daughters, and made children with her, so you could make sure that you were assured of a job forever, and you wouldn't have to be a wrestler forever. Like, let's be honest and let's be serious, folks. Nobody in their right mind wants to work for the potential of becoming a superstar. There's no guarantee there, and that could he could have ended up breaking his back and not being able to move and play with his stepson. I mean, he doesn't say stepson, his son. So you expect this man who has come out recently and said he's on the autism spectrum, has ADHD, severely dyslexic, you expect him to go to the US, stay in a company where his ex is already there, already has a strong foundation there. He's going to be alone. For what?
I also want to say that it's not just WWE. It's a lot of corporations in America that are like that, of like, what do you mean take care of your kids? You got a job here at the office to do.
This I understand. However, we are speaking on wrestling and we are speaking on Clown of the Week. And that is why so many corporations that is why we are in late stage capitalism. And that is why we are in the situation we are in currently. Folks, people are very much tired of the boss making all this money, people under them not making enough, and missing out on important things to them. That is why a lot of your teachers are leaving the classroom.
You mind if I dig another hole into that?
No, not right now, because I got other things I got to do today, including trying to get some rest. But let me give my last part of Clown of the Week, and then you can go from there. My part of Clown of the Week, as always, is Punk Ass Phil. Punk Ass Phil, you thought you did something with those little memes in your IG story. You didn't. You flopped. Jungle Boy came in and took over your hometown. How you feeling now? It's not 5 minutes in, so I can't cuss. But just know there's an MFer that goes along with that. So yeah, when Jungle Boy comes in and takes over your territory, that's you. That sucks to suck, Phil. Sucks to suck. Sammy, you can go now. Had to make sure Phil knew he was gonna get Clown of the Week there. Didn't want him to think that he wasn't.
Companies have been spoiled. For decades, you had workers who were trying to outcompete each other for promotions. And now you don't have promotions to give them, and you still expect the same amount of labor to be given. It's like, no, that's not the standard. That's what you got for the expectations that they were going to receive benefits for that extra labor that they were giving. If there's no benefits being given, they're not going to break their back for you.
Well, it's not just that. It also goes along with the fact that pensions no longer exist. So people no longer have a reason to stay with companies and stay loyal. And they disguise it as so many other things when it's really, if you paid us, we would stay. No pay, no stay.
Right.
Shucks a shuck.
Right. So before you're gone, give us your top 5 favorite female wrestlers right now, current.
Pause. I thought we were talking about the video.
Oh, we are. We're going to talk about that too. You don't have your wrestlers. If you don't, we can just move on to the video. I figured if you had your top
okay,
5,
I need y'all to pick a thing and stick to it. Y'all told me right before we get on
Video.
about the video.
Okay.
Not about wrestling, about the video.
Then we'll talk about the video. So last week, obviously, on Dynamite, Tony Khan decided to release silent video of the interaction between Jack Perry and CM Punk backstage from about 8.5 months ago, when CM Punk apparently put hands on Jack Perry backstage. So I know there was a little talk amongst the internet wrestling community and talking heads and people that be and just people in general about some of the timing and why they would do it now, blah, blah, blah. What'd y'all think of the video? Did it have any? What'd you think of the video? Was it different because it was silent? And what kind of impact do you think it has on wrestling in general?
It's closed caption video. It's never going to have sound.
Should the Bucks have given you announcing? Should they have narrated the video for you?
No.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So it was
fine. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it was a security feed. So security feeds, do they usually have sound or not?
I mean, I suppose your camera could potentially have audio also. Some do, I'm sure, but apparently those ones don't. And the reality is that, AEW doesn't have their own set, right? I mean, they're in someone else's arena, someone else's house. So, I mean, if that place doesn't have those kind of cameras, then they only have whatever they have. I mean, it is what it is, so.
But it's Wembley, though. Like, I think they should,
Well, they have 10,000 cameras. It's a lot cheaper getting ones without microphones.
Oh, no. See. Let me find out you have the freaking microphones. No, I'm not going to your arena. I don't care if it's the biggest one. No, if something pops off, I need visual evidence and facts, sound and audio. The same things, visual and audio of what's going down. And then like I said, you're the freaking Wembley Stadium and you don't have no freaking audio. But it's fine. It's fine.
Most stadiums don't. Not backstage. Just because of the things that happen backstage.
See, no, I don't like that.
Might very well be true too. So, what y'all think of the video in general, from what we can see?
They should have released it half a year ago.
It matches Phil's second story. Not his first story, but his second story.
Aside from one detail, he said that Jungle Boy approached him, where it very much looked like CM Punk approached Jungle Boy.
Well, he also said that he didn't throw a punch, and he saw.
Oh yeah.
But also, no one has seemingly mentioned this. He looked around, saw who was around, waited for Jungle Boy to fix his hair. Then he punched him. Then he said he choked him out. I'm sorry, but if someone's choked out, I'm expecting them to be on the floor. I'm not expecting Samoa Joe to remove them, and he's trying to get past Samoa Joe to get to him. I maintain I want to see him try that with Hook. That's who I want to see him try.
That caught me off guard. I think because Joe is Joe, he's gonna to restrain the most threat in that situation. He was restraining Jack Perry, so I'm like, This don't need audio, man.
Right?
There's no need for audio. I just like to reiterate again. This is Phil's second version of what happened. The first version was Jungle Boy went back there. He was on a rampage. CM Punk stood up to him, stopped him from fighting. They got in a little bit of a tussle, and that's what happened. That was the first version. That was the initial version that came out.
Yeah.
Because everybody was like, Jungle Boy? We were still confused about the whole glass thing and why you could have beef with Jungle Boy. But then it's Jungle Boy fighting. What?
When they said choke, I was thinking like a rear naked choke, not like a
Jump from the
setting up
back.
for a choke slam
Yeah.
choke, you know?
Look, I don't know what freaky stuff Phil is into, but if that's his definition of choke, he need to work on that.
Like once you release that
Change
person,
anybody's-
I need like no oxygen, like not I'm gonna
Does it
beat
change
you up.
anyone's perspective on what happened or who's in the wrong or any of that?
For me, no. I have felt since he came back from Brawl Out and he didn't get his way the way he wanted to, I have felt that CM Punk wanted to leave. That interview convinced me that he did with Ariel Helwani, convinced me he wanted to leave. It was just a matter of, will Paul let me come back? That's what it really boiled down to for me. I felt like he was trying to leave. He knew he was on thin ice. I find it incredibly hilarious how he cannot speak to Colt without a lawyer, but he wants the Young Bucks to speak to him without a lawyer. And all the chaos that is from that. And then how all the fallout from his own actions led to him going to talk to the Dirt Sheets, which Punk fans seem to forget. All of this stuff kicked off with Jungle Boy because Punk went to the Dirt Sheets, reported a story that had been over and done with for a while, and then brought it back to life because
Crying me. Love the scapegoat.
Bruh, I know Justin Timberlake sold songs off of this. That's the worst part of this song. The former Noodlehead sold stuff off of this. That's messed up.
Listen, like if Jungle Boy wants to use that as his theme song, like I'm all here for it. Did you guys see his entrance for the New Japan show in Chicago?
I did. I loved it. I saw clips of that whole match. He is definitely playing into the heel. I told y'all him going to New Japan and being House of Torture. Yes, House of Torture can be torturous to watch, but they put people up in a good place when it comes to being a villain because people learn how to play into different things. It was a smart idea for him.
Yeah, all in all, if this helps Jack Perry, I'm all for that because I think it was two things that came out of this. Number one, sir, like I agree with everyone. Basically, it's like he got. I'm sorry. Why did he get suspended for nearly a year? Because it really don't look like to get suspended for 8 months to almost a year. And that is what happened. We have heard and seen.
Second offense, right? I mean,
for Jack Perry, no. For Jack Perry, no.
No, I'm talking for CM Punk.
CM Punk. We talking about Jack Perry. Like
for
Jack Perry to be the scapegoat of it all.
Okay,
yeah.
I believe that the line was, if you got issues with Jack Perry, then you're in the wrong. I think that statement still holds true.
No one has issues with Jack Perry. If you have issues with Jack Perry, then something's wrong with you, is what the quote is. Said after, during the feud with Jungle Boy and Adam Cole.
Like, I don't want to compare stuff, but comparing, what you call it, Sammy Guevara and his instances with Andrade and Eddie Kingston and comparing it to Jack Perry and CM Punk. Why did Jack Perry get suspended this long? I want to know because in that footage we don't have audio, but you can see mouths. You can see his mouth. You can see his demeanor. I really don't. I don't see anything that said I'm the aggressor. I'm trying to antagonize anybody. I am trying to get this man riled up in the slightest. Maybe a month of trying to let's sort this out. But for him to get suspended that long, come on, bro. I hope he got paid while he was sitting home, because that was an
downside guarantee. He did get that much.
Okay.
So that's the good thing about contracts. Even though people bitch and complain about guaranteed contracts, but they're for the people.
The real question is, with as many people as were back there, how did he even get as far as it did?
Because nobody
there's so
thought
many
Phil
people-
was going to do that. Phil is almost 50 years old.
So what?
I'm gonna put it like this: as a former special education teacher, I am restraint certified. I had the authority, because I am not going back into the school system unless something changes. I have the ability to restrain people who are multiple times bigger than me. Even as pregnant as I am, I have the ability to do that without causing any harm. I have been in schools where I have had things thrown at me, been called out my name, had aggressiveness, had people trying to, like adults trying to fight me, pop up at the school trying to fight me because their child did not achieve what they wanted them to achieve, and they held me responsible for it. I've been in volatile situations. At no point was my first thought, let me go speak to this person when I'm clearly agitated and they are not. And when the situation escalates, I'm going to put my hands on someone. Never. As mature as I have, my thought process is never, let me put my hands on someone in order to escalate a situation. Because I'm an adult.
It honestly reminded me of middle school.
Yeah. Because, like, again, he said, cry me a river. You really think him getting pushed, shoved, hit, and choked, that aligns with because the little boy said, cry me a river.
Well, he also said, do something about it.
Again, do something. There's so many levels of do something about it. Go to TK.
Yes,
go to the like.
If you want to try to have this big ass match with Samoa Joe, you're not gonna sit there and fight and potentially injure yourself again.
If somebody's in your face and they say do something, that only means one thing. Sorry, that means we're fighting
No.
I'm not turning around and walking away from the boss and being like,
I've had people get in my face and say do something, and because I'm an adult, I've walked away, because what's the point? If somebody really wants you to do something that bad enough, they'll start the fight, because it's not the person. It's legally, it's on the person who starts the fight. That's what they're gonna tell you. As long as I don't put my hands on you
first,
anything gets said and done. But if you put your hands on me, legally, I have to give you at least one opportunity before I can claim self-defense. Now, if Jungle Boy Jack Perry had hit that man and knocked him on upside the head and paralyzed him, what are you gonna do then? Because it only takes once.
I was about to say, if Jungle Boy had hit him back then, I'd say Jungle Boy's in the wrong too. But all Jungle Boy really did was
just
say some words because he was mad that Punk's interfering in his career.
Like, you can't, as adults, we cannot put our hands on other people no matter what they say or do. I've been called every version of the N-word possible, and I've had to take it and then go talk to my lawyer about it and pursue hate crime charges. I'm not going to go put myself financially in a position where I have to worry about me paying somebody because of this.
I was really hoping.
You're getting punched in your face. I don't give a fuck. Sorry.
I don't care.
Done it before. Do it again. I don't care how old I am.
Hold up, pause. This is the same man that said, "Come to my locker room if you have a problem." When people came to his locker room to talk to him before they could even have a conversation, he hit them. It is now a pattern. It's a pattern. Y'all can do that all day. I'm not going to jail.
It is a pattern.
Food is not good. I don't do well with people telling me what to do. I don't do well with one outfit. I damn sure ain't taking a piss and a shit the same place I got a drink from. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to prison. I'm not doing none of that because people can do this all day, and they do it all day.
I was really hoping that Punk was going to pull an HBK, and instead he pulled a Hulk Hogan.
What do you mean by pull HBK? Let's be very fair. Like the point being here. What do you mean? Let's clarify.
And then walk away.
HBK was a toxic cancer to the locker room, and then he left and he came back and was a new man and was one of the best dudes in the locker room.
Oh,
But he also stopped doing drugs. He stopped doing drugs too. So
Dolores says, "Hey everyone, I'm not an adult. Do something where I'm from is you can expect to ice your eye."
And when both of y'all are in jail, I'll come visit y'all. I like my life on the outside too much.
I hear you. We'll deal with that down the road, whatever. Because in the moment,
you laughing about
it. Talk to me like that.
As somebody who had to go through that shit, it's not funny. It's not funny, and it sucks because it then puts you in a situation where you potentially can't get certain jobs. It puts you in a situation where you got to pay lawyers multiple years to get shit cleared up. It costs to hit somebody first, even if you feel like you're in the right.
And you're at work. This isn't like we're at the bar or at a party and we get into a fight. You're at work.
You're about to go in front of tens of thousands of people.
But you want to do this now. You want to have this fight now, and you're the freaking first match of the biggest freaking wrestling show ever.
You got injured jumping in the crowd. You got injured jumping in the crowd. What happens if Jungle Boy pushes you or someone trying to break it up pushes you? And now you can't even go get that payday. Like, what the? Bruh, think about the money.
If money does not make you act right, you're a lost cause. If money don't make you act right, you're a lost cause.
I mean, maybe he's not. Maybe now that he's in WWE, he'll be acting correct.
Oh, he's going to.
They have contracts on him.
If he loses it in WWE, what do you got now? Because Scott D'Amore is gone from TNA. So where can he go? Because all the other companies are starting to work together now. So where could he just really go? Like realistically, where could he go now if he F's up in WWE?
I don't think he ever intended to make a serious run with AEW, or you think it was simply just, hey, I can do this again. Let me get back to WWE.
He said
he was their world champ.
He said that he always wanted to go back to WWE, that he never thought he would be in AEW. He thought he was going back to WWE. They contacted him from the get-go when they started setting up AEW, and he didn't want anything to do with it. Right. That's also where the end books came in.
Instead, he did WWE backstage with Renee Paquette.
Yeah. It's still hard to believe because I don't get my emotions into it, but that first run, the first run before Brawl Out 2022, I felt as though, did he want to go back to WWE? Yes, but I think he really don't. He really wanted to do a good run in AEW before going to WWE. Don't know how, like maybe 5 years and then bounce, but I do feel like he wanted to do that and then go to AEW. Go back to WWE.
I don't think he wanted to stay 5 years. I think he had a plan of staying a year or two, optioning out, and going back to WWE. I think he wanted to show WWE, I'm still a draw, and I can still wrestle. And then he got hurt. And Moxley proved that they didn't need him. And that got him a little bit in his feelings. And once people start to realize they don't really need you as much as they thought they did, you lose your power. And he lost a lot of power behind the stuff that he was doing. People respected him and people respected his opinion. But they started realizing we really don't need you right now. We needed you earlier, but not right now.
Mhm.
Well, enough about CM. Let's
Punk.
move on to our next.
Let's be very clear, CM Punk.
I really wish I would just call him punk ass Phil because he is the initials of CM.
PAP, Pat.
I just don't.
And then Drew McIntyre's going to smear Pap on the canvas. All right. Let's get to the rest.
My last thing on this whole topic. In the words of the old WWF stuff, don't try this at home. Like, don't think that you big and bad enough to try this at home because y'all just, yeah. It's easy to talk about it. You ain't been through it, but when you compare student loans with the amount of money you spend on lawyers, it hits different.
Facts. All right, let's go.
But this top 5 before I bounce.
Yeah, give it to us.
Top 5 favorite. Is it top 5 favorite wrestlers or top 5 favorite females? Y'all never clarified that.
Top
Is it
5
current?
females.
Is it current or
current as of April 2024, as of right now?
Pause. You said females or wrestlers. It's too many people talking at one time.
Yes, women.
Okay, because I started feeling like I was Randy Orton with voices in my head. So many people. Okay, so I'm going to say MK Ultra, obvious reasons. I'm also going to go with Billy Starks. I am going to go with Queen Aminata, Red Velvet, and surprisingly for me, Athena.
Woo!
I respect the things that those last 4 have done in ROH. Those matches they put on, the things the promos they built. Athena has really, really, and the women in ROH have really revitalized ROH to me. MK Ultra Impact was I had questions about how far they were going to let it go. But then you also have Masha Slamovich, who whatchamacallit, who I feel like could have gone longer with Shayna Baszler. That match deserved 2 more minutes. Damn you, Ralph. Damn you the heck. But it is what it is. But that's my top 5. Shout out to Jade and Naomi and Bianca. I don't do WWE. So what I know about it is from clips. And from the clips that I see, Jade has not really changed from AEW. But
yeah.
Why y'all wasting the time then?
Shit. But honestly, I think Mercedes is hurt. But if she's not hurt, I know we love Willow, but I would have loved to see Mercedes versus Athena, her first rivalry out the gate. I think that would have been a banger, man. Like
because we don't know who attacked Mercedes. Also, last Dynamite was. Am I the only one who had questions after last Dynamite? Or was it Dynamite before last with the champagne and the Mercedes and the noises? And I just
last Dynamite was a show. It was a show. I think they were too worried about the footage. They didn't set everything else up just a little bit better. Like we're gonna deviate just real quick because the Mercedes interview and the freaking Kevin Dunn zooming in, zooming out, and then the freaking how she was talking. I'm like, what?
I feel like that was done on purpose. I feel like that was done on purpose. I don't know. Something about it just seems like it was done on purpose.
Yeah, I feel like they're not trying to rush because we still got a ways before Double or Nothing.
I get that, but Dynasty is like
She's not on Dynasty.
That's what I'm saying though. Why is she not on Dynasty? Why are we skipping a new freaking pay-per-view when you have Will Ospreay versus Danielson, but Athena doesn't want to do this one? That's what I'm saying. We have Samoa Joe versus Swerve, but she doesn't want to be here. I have a no.
Maybe she don't like St. Louis. I don't know.
For Athena, it is a AEW pay-per-view. So for Athena, it does kind of make sense for her not to be up there, being in ROH. I do hope we start getting more crossover because to me, Collision was really good because of that crossover, and that match was a banger. Give me more of that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, CM. Appreciate having you on.
Good night, y'all.
Night.
For our picks, are you guys cool with ring around the rosy, round robining it, whatever you want to call it? Everybody give a 5, then a 4, then a 3, then a 2, then a 1.
Whatever you want to do. It's your,
Alright.
your topic.
Mayu Iwatani, the best super kick in the business. Eat it, Usos. Eat it, Young Bucks. Best super kick in the business. Mayu Iwatani, number 5.
That's your number 5.
Mm-hmm.
That it. You go.
My number 5 is Deonna Purrazzo. I just enjoy watching her wrestle. She's one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet, male or female. And every time I see her on a card, I'm excited to see what she's going to do. So,
like, we just need her to turn heel because, it's like the baby face thing isn't working, ma'am. Like, and that's good. It's not you. It's not you.
Agreed.
So come on, let's speed this up.
She's a better natural heel. She's more of a natural as a heel than she is as a face, for sure.
All right, me 5 currently. Daggone it. I know I'm never prepared. I'm gonna go with EOS. You know what? I'm gonna change this while I'm saying out my words. Number 5 as of right now is EO Sky. Oh my gosh, I loved her ever since I seen her in NXT. This, like, even though she didn't do as many title matches this year, or when she had her belt, the ones she did were great, and even the non-title matches were awesome. And then this WrestleMania, it was just. If they want to run it back at Backlash, I am all for her versus Bayley one more time because she's a vibe and I love her so much. So right now,
debatably the best moonsault in the business.
As of right now, yeah. No arguments for me there, not even a little bit.
Charlotte does
so
a better
my number
shirt, so
for me, my number 4 is the Empress Asuka.
Dang.
Yep.
Even this year, because like I love Asuka too, but this title, this tag team title run hasn't been that good.
Well, this isn't best. This is favorite.
Favorite, okay. As of right now, I understand.
So, like, who I get most hype seeing on my TV.
Yeah, they're the ones you're excited to see when you see them on the card. You're like, I got to see that. They're the ones that are, move the needle the most for you right now, as of right now.
Right.
So it's my number 4. I'm gonna go with Masha. I think she's always fun. Every time I see her on a card, I'm excited to see what she's gonna do. I think her versus Shayna was the best match at Bloodsport. And they still didn't even get enough time. As CM said, they got kind of cut short. But I like Macho a lot. She's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Wins everywhere. So.
Right. Okay. For me, number 4, I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill. Like it's the aura. It's the aura for me. And even she has not been in the WrestleMania. I mean, sorry, she has not had a singles match just yet. But every time she's on television, I get excited. And every time she's in the
Yes, she
ring,
did.
I get excited.
Chelsea Green.
Oh, that squash match. Yes, so technically yes, that lasted 2 minutes. But yes, I can't wait. And like you said, the slow burn with her and Bianca, I'm here for it. Do not rush it. Take your time. Take your time.
Mm-hmm. All right, my turn again. Number 3, Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Let's talk about it real quick. It sucks.
She's just outside of my top 5. Yeah, it does suck. We don't know why, right? Do we know?
We do
exactly
know
what
why.
happened?
We do know why. It did not happen at WrestleMania. It was on freaking Raw when freaking Liv threw that freaking chair. They said she oversold it, and when she went to the wall, that's how she hurt her. That's how she hurt her shoulder. But any crackhead can see, I'm sorry, allegedly, that Liv threw the crap out of that freaking chair. She's a freaking mad person. So no, do not give the belt to Liv just now because she's stupid.
Well,
sorry.
I mean, she got her revenge.
No.
She got her revenge.
Yes, and that's all she needs right now.
It's I'm not a Liv Morgan fan, and it's extremely unfortunate that Rhea Ripley is hurt, had to vacate her title, and if indeed it's because of Liv Morgan, that's even more disappointing. However, every single person that's a wrestler knows that there's always that potential to get hurt every time you step out there, especially when you do stuff like having chairs thrown at you. I'm sure they probably discussed that spot first. And it seems like even in WWE, which is still really in a PG era for all intents and purposes, they like to ramp it up sometimes. When you ramp it up, things are going to happen. I mean, it's inevitable. My guess is, and maybe she is in the moment because of the title, whatever. My guess is Rhea's probably not mad at Liv. It probably is what it is. Things happen. This is what we signed up for, right? I mean,
she gets a well-needed vacation.
I mean, we can be mad if we want, and it sucks because we're kind of robbed of Rhea for a little while, but this is part of being a professional wrestler, right? And this is where we've all experienced this. All of our favorite wrestlers at some point have become hurt, right? So,
yes, but yes and
it
no.
was also a tricky situation too, because like looking at the roster, like who was going to take that title off of Rhea? Because the only women I see capable of doing it are all on SmackDown.
And thankfully, there's a draft, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna whatever they're gonna do next week, they're gonna have some SmackDown people there, and then have the draft sorted out. But yes and no, it's one thing to be in the ring and doing something, and something goes wrong. It's another thing with a freaking backstage segment, and I'm sorry if you okay.
Athena got injured chasing after the 24/7 title
again by her own accord. But here's what I'm saying: you have to. Okay, sorry. Let me be very clear. I don't want anything harm to come to her. I don't want her career to stop. But rewarding her with the title is stupid to me. Number one. Number two, when it's a backstage segment and it's okay, you're going to brawl. You're going to throw this chair. I'm sorry. Review that freaking tape. Everyone, when she threw that chair, was like, oh my God, what the frick is wrong with you? And maybe they wanted to kick out, but no, when you're doing this, yes, stuff can happen, but you also have to be safe and not be stupid. That's why Shawn Spears has so much heat when he gave freaking Cody Rhodes that headshot, even though Cody Rhodes said it. But if they would have ran it past anyone else, they're like, no headshots. That's stupid. There's protocols here. And now I'm not saying she shouldn't have a freaking run, but what I'm saying is I am mad. Because it's like
they're not just giving her the title, right? I didn't hear that they were just giving Liv the title.
So here's the thing, right? They're like, oh, because of this, she has so much heat. So let's run with the ball and let's.
Is that what people online are saying?
Say it again.
Is that what people online are saying?
That's the conversation of, oh, let's run with this heat, and next week when you need a champion, like you said, who else is going to be? Let's go with Liv Morgan and give her the title.
Here's what I think.
Put the belt on anybody. They're gonna make
Yeah.
win. They're gonna make somebody win a match or something.
I
No,
think
the match
I
is
think
next week. Whatever it is, the
Backlash is
tournament,
that.
whatever is
Oh,
next week.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
whatever's happening is happening next week. Yeah.
I had assumptions on what they would do. I haven't seen Raw yet, so I didn't know that that was announced. I was going to guess that Backlash was going to be a triple threat between Nia Jax, Becky, and Liv Morgan. That's what I assumed it was going to be.
I would love that. But as of right now, yeah, they announced that they're going to do something next week to crown a new champion. Now, I would love for whatever happens next week to be a no disqualification, because I think that is what you call it, full circle. Because for some reason, because y'all want to insert the girl into the build up of WrestleMania, so I'm not opposed to that at all. But for me, go.
Oh, I was just going to say about Sean Spears. A thing that was discussed was because the chair was gimmicked to be thinner, that it wrapped around Cody's head more, and if it was just normal steel chair, it would not have done all of that to him.
Maybe not, but that's why you have to pass. But it was only between those two people. No one else knew they were doing that, and that's the thing, that your safety has to come first. No matter how cool you think stuff's going to look, your safety has to come first. So you have to run it by people, and you have to practice.
My thought is they could probably do that spot 10 times and Rhea doesn't get hurt. 9 out of 10 times she's probably fine, right? I mean, it's a fluke. It's probably a fluke that she got hurt this one time. It just is what it is, and unfortunately, sometimes that stuff happens. It's unfortunate.
She was
unfortunate when she's champion and all that stuff, but
she turned into the wall a little too fast. Like if the wall was just a little further away, if she had swung herself a little slower.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll blame the wall. Sure. I saw it in real time. That girl threw that chair crazy, and I'm not trying to dig.
It's not her head that's injured; it's her shoulder.
Exactly, but like you said, you throw it. I'm trying to deflect from you throwing it so freaking hard. I run into the freaking wall. For someone who's seen, again, you have to rewatch it. That's why I'm mad, because I watched it in real time, and I watched it with a freaking reaction group, and everyone was like, "What the frick happened? Why would you hit it? Why would you throw it that hard?" Everyone had the same reaction of, "Holy crap!"
I mean, it also goes in line with AJ Styles getting injured in the Royal Rumble. Like, he didn't blame Edge at all because AJ Styles overturned. When he was doing his flip, he went a little too far.
That's different. That's a wrestling move, and you're trying to do something, not me throwing an inanimate object.
I'm sorry, but in WWE, throwing a chair at somebody is a wrestling move after all these years.
Sure.
Do that all the time, right? I mean, whether it's in the ring or backstage. I mean, every TLC match, every match where they have a chair, someone throws a chair now at somebody, right? I mean,
Moxley definitely loves throwing chairs at people.
I mean, it's pretty commonplace. I'm not saying that that's not what caused it. I'm just saying, it feels like, and again, I haven't watched Raw, so I don't know. I haven't seen the spot. I don't know.
You have to watch the spot. I wouldn't be that high.
My guess is that, like I said, probably, 8 or 9 out of 10 times she doesn't get hurt and it goes off fine and it's not a big deal. So, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. Anyhow, my number 3.
As a spectator, I just want to say one more thing. As a spectator, it seems like they're even now. Rhea Ripley injured Liv. Liv injured Rhea Ripley. They're even.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 is Bianca Belair. I am always excited to watch her. She always puts on a show. For me, she's the best women's wrestler in WWE. I think her and Asuka are 1 and 1A for that spot. And she's my favorite woman to watch. Let me rephrase that. She's my second favorite woman to watch in WWE. My next one is going to be one of my top 2, so you'll see. But number 3 is Bianca Belair.
I understand. For me, number 3, I'm trying to see current. I'm trying to like who comes out there, and I want to see. I love to see them. I'm gonna go with number 3, Willow. I was gonna put her in my top 2, but no, 3 is perfect for her. Oh my, like she's my spirit animal. As you can see, the big hair and everything. Like she comes out and people are like, oh no, she's too happy. No, that's the aura. I'm gonna be happy, but I'm gonna kick your butt. And I can't wait for tomorrow when we finally get a little snippet of her versus Brody. And they're not doing something in the ring together. I'm gonna be so mad. Because ever since last year and she took the barking from Brody King, I'm like, I don't know how we do this. But I want to see them do something together. So like, I'm so excited. Please don't let me down, AEW. Please.
At least bark at each other.
At least bark at each other.
Do something, or at least just one good shoulder tackle. And he goes over. I'm done. And that's it.
All right. Well, I'm glad you picked that because moving on to my number 2, the CEO, Mercedes.
Ba, 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 ba. Listen, I love Mercedes. Don't get I love Mercedes. The criticism I think everyone has is we want this to go right. We want this to go perfectly for her debut in AEW. I think that's why so much criticism. This is like, I'm not sure how much time or how much thought put into her debut. I'm pretty sure there's a decent amount, but it's like, can we please just dot all the I's and cross all the T's? Because she's worth it. We all know she's worth it. It's just she don't have to prove anything to anybody, but we want everyone to say, yes, we agree with you. She's worth it.
I felt like she's the epitome of, if she's on a card, I'm watching the show.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that definitely. Yeah.
I mean, she was in my top 10 for sure. She's not in my top 5, but she's in my top 10.
Yeah.
Let's see, number 2 for me, and just because of the things that Anika mentioned before, just the aura, the potential, the silhouette she strikes on the screen when she comes out, just because I know that at some point she'll probably be the best in the world. Jade Cargill is my number 2. I just every time I know she's gonna wrestle or do something, I can't not see it. I gotta see what she's gonna do. It's must-see television whenever she's on TV, whether she's talking, whether she's wrestling. I mean, we're sitting around waiting just to see what she's going to do. I mean, the anticipation level is up here just to see what she's going to do, let alone,
Right.
whatever. So yeah, number 2 for me is Jade Cargill.
Yeah. And I full-heartedly, like, Triple H saying that she needs more work. That was like, sir, I need you to stop being petty with these interviews, please. Like, you keep being overly. I need the pettiness to come down just a couple of notches, especially if you're not going to do anything significantly different than what she was doing in AEW, as CM says. But as of right now, like I said, I love what she's doing. Take your time. Jade and Bianca being tag team champions, I'm all here for it. Then you break them up and then we get the WrestleMania match. I'm all here for all this.
I mean, it's
You
just
know,
the best
it's not
list, right? I mean, if it was a best list, she probably wouldn't be in my top 5 because I do think she still needs work, and I do think but it's a favorites list, so these are the ones I'm most excited to see. So
she's my favorite, yes.
quick thing about the press conference interview stuff. I think Cody does like the best job, like from like a management standpoint. Like when they were asking questions about Vince and everything, like Triple H was like, I didn't read it. I'm just trying to, enjoy the moment of where we are and how business is going. I don't want to think about that. And then Cody's out there like giving like exact answers of like, this is how I feel. This is how I feel that other people feel. And we just got to pick ourselves up, move on, and hope for the best for everyone involved. And I feel bad for the people involved in it. It's like when Triple H retires, like get Cody as the COO.
Oh no.
Oh, CCO. Like
I
that's
feel
Dusty's son. Make him this next CCO.
like even though I full heartedly know that CEO that Cody wants to wrestle longer. I feel like he already has his not gonna say retirement plan, his act 2 in place. He's like after I stop wrestling, I know exactly what I want to do. Not sure he took classes, but I feel like he took classes. But he's like no matter whatever the act 2 is, I'm going to be ready for it. It's going to be seamless as hell. I'm just gonna slide right in there and it's like what happened to Cody Rhodes? I'm in the back. I'm doing my thing.
Well, I'm talking about Act 3. Him returning to WWE to manage and control the creative.
So what's Act 2? You think?
Act 2 is probably Hollywood.
Maybe. Like some people you can see they want to be actors, but some people who love wrestling, I see Cody loving wrestling. I don't see him like I want to be a Hollywood star. That's just me.
He's made comments about it before, though. So I don't know.
Maybe he does. I don't see him being a big
no
action star. I think maybe some nice little roles, but I don't think him being reaching the heights of a Dwayne Johnson or a Batista. I don't see.
Well, the thing is I don't see him as action. I see him like doing like a drama.
See, nah. I'm sorry. maybe, but again, I ain't gonna. Not nobody's yum. If you want to do that, do you.
I think we're at Anika's number 2.
My number 2. This is why I should have wrote this down because I kind of want to push everyone to the front and have this person be in the back because I feel like I mistimed it. And so after this, I will give you my 1 to 5 in order. But let me think. They come on the screen.
A lot older than Cody Rhodes than I thought he was.
Really? Oh yeah. No, he was. Yeah. Think about it. Him and Goldust were wrestling together, and I know Goldust and Cody have a 10-year plus age difference. So yeah, that definitely makes sense. All right. So go.
When he left WWE the first time, he was with WWE for almost a decade. That was 2016.
See.
So it's getting close to 20 years now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's been over 15 years.
All right. So not sure she's my top 2. I will organize it in my mind, but the top 2 is Rhea Bloody Ripley. Talk about someone when she gets on the screen. I'm like, let's go! It's time let's get this party started. I'm gonna miss her. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck, man. But I like just watching her main roster debut, and they really know what to do with her, which is insane because when she was in NXT, she was awesome. But then you get to that little left turn of Mommy Rhea, and then that is just the bullhorn to shout out to everybody, "I'm awesome!" And everyone's like, "Yeah, you are!" And so I can't wait till she comes back. Rest up. This is not like, even though this sucks, take this time to do whatever the frick you want to do, but you're coming back, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait for it.
So before we get off of the Rhea, since you mentioned her, I want to just ask this question. What impact does this have on Judgment Day? She's been playing for many weeks, and in many respects, she's often the voice of reason, and a lot of times kind of the de facto ruler. They all kind of ultimately kind of defer to what she says, and if she's not going to be, or she's still going to be there backstage to do all the backstage segments and stuff, or is she just going to be gone? And if so, what impact does it have on Judgment Day?
She's gone.
I will say they are in the best spot for it. Damian Priest just became the world heavyweight champion, so they got plenty of material to work with moving forward.
They do. I do feel as though it might be taken down a notch. Like you said, they do have materials to work with, but I think it's going to be a filling out process, and definitely So we're at Rhea. I'm gonna go to Damien, right? He's a champ. I hope they give them the stories and the work to keep this going. And not even keep this going, but more so make Damian Priest the champ, the top champ on Raw, because that's what you should be doing anyway. But now that Rhea is gone, now you most definitely,
or SmackDown.
Or SmackDown, but like right now that Rhea's gone, you most definitely need to put the work in and make sure that he is in a good situation. Now I can, like you said, there's a lot of material as of right, like when you watch it, the one from yesterday, he was kind of mad that Finn was attacking Jey Uso after their match. That could be a little power dynamic. They're not tag team champs. What's going on there? So they had a lot to work with, but they did take down not 5 notches down, but 2 notches down.
I mean, is she the biggest star of that group? Is she the biggest draw of that group?
Yes.
Of all time or currently?
Of that group, currently.
Of that group right now, as of April, right now, as of today, as it stands.
Because, like, Finn Balor had his, moments where he was real big, but right now, it's Rhea.
It was Rhea, yes.
So without
her there,
because
Finn's not as popular as he used to be.
It can't. I mean, it can't not have an impact if she's not there. I mean, it's got to have some sort of impact.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, the work needs to be done. It's not impossible. I just hope they do the work to keep it going. Like, or okay, because keep it going. Because people are like, they want to break up. Do something where everyone will come out of this unscathed, where they're still good. They're still in good positions on the card. They're still mid to top contenders, is what I'm saying.
But that leads to a natural next question: should they stay together? Should Judgment Day stay together, or should they break up?
For me, I think they got 2 more months.
This would be a good opportunity if you wanted to play that story out of Finn and JD setting up their own tag team, Dominic moving to partnering with LWO, and you got Damian Priest blazing his own path. They could do that if they wanted to do that. One thing I wanted to talk about real briefly is Cody getting drafted to Raw, right?
I don't know. Because they don't have Roman on SmackDown. This draft is going to be interesting because as of right now, Cody is your top person.
Meaning Seth is going to be drafted to SmackDown? Because you think that's what's going to happen?
So in my mind, right? So draft-wise...
I'm sorry, Damian Priest. Yeah. I apologize. Damian Priest.
Yeah, I was seeing Damian Priest getting drafted to SmackDown.
And Cody going Raw.
Probably Drew McIntyre too.
I thought can't champions go from all across both brands though?
Only tag.
The women's tag.
That's it. It was the men's, but they split them up. So this should be a clean split.
If you're the world champion, you can pretty much show up wherever you want. Like, who's going to stop you?
Right.
But Cody's a baby face, so you wouldn't do that after the draft.
Cody. Well, here's the thing: is Cody is the champion on SmackDown, but he's a Raw superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but thankfully, this is why you name the titles Universal and World, and not SmackDown or Raw. So you can switch that. You can switch it real easy. When it was SmackDown and Raw, what are we doing? But no, it's World and Universal, so we can switch it real easy. It'll be fine.
Rich, if you're gonna do the draft and gonna do a brand split and try to be committed to it, I like the Raw and SmackDown titles better. Calling them that because I think it gives more validity to the show. I mean, the whole point of having a brand split is to keep people on opposite shows, not to just have people floating from show to show.
It is that way with the tag titles. It's the Raw tag titles and the SmackDown tag titles. But for the women, it's WWE Women's Champion and World Women's Champion.
Now,
it should be Raw and SmackDown through all the titles if you're going to actually do a brand split and try to keep it that way.
No, I totally get it, but sometimes what you call it, people get hurt, and and stuff happens where you, some stuff need to change. But when people are totally healthy, I totally agree. Yes, stay on your brand. Do not go over to other brands. I totally agree with that.
All right, we're an hour into the show. Time for me to give my number one. If you know me, you know who it is. Like I don't even have to tell the two of you. You already know. It is the new signee to NXT, the one and only Donna Dimondo, Julia.
So here's the thing, right? When they were saying who should be the next title, who should be holding the next title after Rhea, and someone said Julia, I'm like, I think all of us was like, we're not opposed to that. Who's opposed to that?
I'm all for it, but like it definitely not now. It like we need a replacement for the title now. She hasn't even had her first match in NXT.
I understand. Like I understand that in this global world that we live in, and the world of the internet, and that wrestling in has become a much smaller space as far as everyone has access to everything now, and you can know Julia without ever having to see her on American television. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
She was on TNA.
I understand that a lot of people, a lot of the people that know wrestling probably better than I do, for whatever reason, say that she's, one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. And then I've seen her wrestle a few times. I think she's really good. I still don't think anyone should just come in and get a title shot at the main title, at the big title right away. I just don't think that should happen. They have to win at least a few matches, get some victories under their belt, do a couple months of paying some dues. Everybody should do that before you get an actual shot at the world title in any respect. That's just my feeling on it. I mean, I just don't think anyone, because there's other people that have already put in work and have been doing that job. And just because you're great at what you do, I don't think necessarily means you should leapfrog me where I've been at the company where I've been putting in work. I mean, I just don't, you know what I mean? I've been here now doing this. I should get my shot, and here you come just because you're great. You get that shot over me. No, I've been here doing this. No, fuck that. Like,
there was Kevin Owens, but that was the U.S. title.
If you want to wrestle me for that spot, that's fine. If you want to have a match, and don't get me wrong, we all know it's predetermined. So obviously Triple H says fucking Julia's going over. Julia's going over. It is what it is. But we're gonna at least have that match. I'm not just giving up my spot without something, right? I mean,
no, match, yes.
Yeah. She's got to have a couple matches, a couple qualifiers or something before she gets that shot. Unless you're going to have her lose. If you're going to have her lose, then maybe that I'm okay with. But to come in and win one match, all of a sudden you're women's world title, like world champion. Now that I'm not good with. I'm not good with that.
They did it with Paige, though. They did it with Paige. I would say
with Paige was in NXT forever.
But I didn't. I wasn't watching NXT, so I didn't know I didn't know a doggone clue who this little chick was. And then she.
But what we're saying is like Julia hasn't even had a match in NXT.
Yeah, I mean she's cold, like.
But again, it's subjective. Y'all saw her, Paige, but I didn't see her. It was just some random chick that came out and beat AJ, and then. Weeks down the line, I'm like, oh, okay, she's actually good. I know, I get why you don't like it, but you keep saying because you're great. And it's like, but if you are great, though, you can skip that line.
The one who got hot-shotted was Kevin Owens. He was there for like a month, and he was champion. But it was the U.S. title. So it's a bit different. It's not the world title.
Well, it's that Will Ospreay question, right? Like, how long should Will Ospreay toil before he gets a title shot at an AEW World Championship? It's fucking Will Ospreay, right? It's not very long. Yeah. And at the same time, like, there's guys in line that have been doing this that deserve a shot. And so it's hard, right? I mean, it's one of those things. I mean,
Wembley.
I don't know.
So the main one of the distinct difference between Osprey and Julia is with AEW, you got like 5 people who could be the champion, and I will be totally fine. Well, fine with it, right? As of right now, unfortunately, and it's due to booking, no one on Raw, even on SmackDown, is as big as Rhea Ripley. So whoever wins that belt is a tall hit to climb. So in my focus is like, you know what? So might as well let the new chick have a go at it. I'm not long or short, whatever. But whoever has that belt is a tall hill to climb. And as of right now, no one is as big as Rhea Ripley. So either way, it's going to be hard. So might as well let's put the work in on someone new.
We need to address the issue of NXT. Because, Lyra just lost the championship.
Okay.
Blair Davenport lost a match. And the person who she lost to is now going after the mid-card championship. And she's going against the other person who is, in my opinion, a contender for the title. So, if those two are going for the mid-card title, you have no woman on NXT capable of challenging for the world championship. If your only 2 people who I thought were contenders are going for the mid card instead.
Be right back.
Yeah, and now I get what they're trying to do when it's like with Self, even though it's a mid card title, it's a new title. So you want the biggest people to go at it to make it relevant and make it a huge deal. So I get that, but unfortunately, like you said, they don't have as many people for both titles. So, you have a bunch of girls that are on SmackDown and Raw that you're not using, and I love that about NXT. That you like, hey, come back over here real quick, and then you can go back over when they find something for you. So I wouldn't mind Mia Yim coming back, Candice LeRae coming back, and filling those little empty potholes if they want to. But I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, that is a big thing to think about with the draft coming up. Bringing other talents back down because you don't have the talent in NXT right now for the women's division. You have 5 really good women, but none of them are in a position right now.
I wonder what the recruitment is, right? Because when do they bring in new people? So they just had the breakout tournament last year in the fall and winter. So yeah, it's about time.
And another thing is that of those 5 women, if any of them are brought up to the main roster, you are sunk. And now you're trying to start a second title too.
Yeah. No. What I was gonna say. It is a whole mess. Not gonna say a mess per se, but hopefully, like I said, if they're recruiting new people, make it quick, do it real fast. But if you need people, definitely bring some people in from Raw and NXT. Hopefully, they'll figure it out. I'll just say that.
So Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Roxy, of course, Blair Davenport, and Lyra, the previous champion.
What is Nikita Lyons doing? Is she hurt or is she still wrestling?
You think she's championship ready material and everything?
I'm saying that's a championship material, but they put a whole lot of time and effort in her
I couldn't hear you, ALW. I saw your mouth move, but no sound came out.
Oh. Yep.
I
can't hear you. I haven't seen Nikita's run after she came back, but I know that they put a whole lot of time and effort into her run before she got hurt. So I would pick someone out of the mid-card title, put Nikita in the mid-card title, and put that person back in the main event title. But yeah, I think right now...
The last thing I remember her doing was she was in a tag team with the girl who's in a tag team with Shayna Baszler now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
It was the last thing I remember her doing. And that was a long time ago. I don't know.
I haven't seen Nikita live
I watched
in a
NXT.
while.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I watch NXT and I haven't seen her in a while.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting. Okay.
yeah, I'm not sure what she's doing, but
Just ask.
all right. So let's see. It's time for my number one woman. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So my number one woman at the moment is the wonderful Willow. She is by far my favorite woman at the moment. Normally that spot's reserved for Charlotte because she is my queen, but she's been gone for so long.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Honestly, like last time she was back, I was a little like I wasn't quite as hot on her as I was before. So she's now dropped a lot of spots at the moment. So, but for me at the moment, the woman I'm most excited to see ever wrestle at the moment is Willow. Anytime she's on the card, I am extremely excited to see her wrestle. And I hope she beats Julia Hart at Dynasty, which we'll talk about here, and becomes TBS Women's Champion.
If she doesn't, what the frick are we doing?
Well, there is that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Miss Anika, your number one woman?
My number one, undisputed. All the other five can be reorganized, but this is my number one, and she's forever my girl. Naomi. Oh, I loved her when I seen her, and then she started wrestling. I'm like, oh crap, she can go. And now, like, as of right now, I was very worried when she came out to WWE because I'm like, if they don't use her right, I'm gonna kick somebody's behind. But it's going fine. It doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck, but it hasn't really gone great either, right? I mean, she lost to Tiffany Stratton. She got eliminated in the Elimination Chamber first. That was by Tiffany Stratton, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
She was the first woman eliminated in that, and then she lost the match subsequently, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't Tiffany Stratton, it was somebody else, but she lost another big match.
So it was against Tiffany Stratton, and I'm very glad she got her lick back. Thank God, because that SmackDown, I was very nervous. They were like, Bayley was new champion, and she was like, I actually want to choose my competitor. I choose Naomi. Tiffany had a little her butt in the watt, and then she was like, oh, you know what? I'll go against you for this title, and she beat her, and I'm like, thank God. So, but so as of right now, I can understand people who are Naomi fans being very, very weary. Like, okay, you ain't got but really no times to make this chick not be relevant. So I get the apprehension, but I also get that Tiffany's new and she's actually pretty good. So that's why I'm like, all right, you got a couple of weeks and that's it. But thankfully, she beat Tiffany, which was they actually gave her time. I love they gave her time with this match and the match with Io. So it's like, okay, thank you. We know, like, if you ask me, yes, let her win the title, but I get that she can't do it right now. But just don't make her suck. When we know that she's awesome. And so as of right now, yes, those two matches were great. And then we've seen her versus Bayley, and we've seen how good that could be. So I am very, very excited for Backlash. And so it's like, just do right by her because she is special. She is a star.
It's very interesting to me because I don't know her at all. Obviously, I don't know her. I don't know the situation. I don't know her personal life, anything about that at all. But it seems to me she's always been undervalued in WWE. I don't think she's ever gotten her proper due in WWE. She left. She went to another company, TNA, that probably has the best women's booking in wrestling. Was immediately the champion. The biggest fish in a really big in a good pond to be the big fish in. And she chose to go back to WWE, back to where they don't treat her very well. And I'm not sure I understand why. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand her husband's there. I get it. I'm not privy to all that stuff. So maybe that's all it's really about. Maybe it's about the money. Maybe it's that much more. I don't know. But it seems to me, if your goal is to be valued as a professional wrestler, they were doing that way more for her in Impact / TNA than they've ever done in WWE. So why would you go back?
I mean, maybe it's something to do with, performing in front of 20,000 fans or in front of 2,000 fans. If that. I don't know
And
how
some-
much TNA has, but it's definitely a lot less.
And for some people, they have a point to prove. Like going, like you can tell a couple of people. Like I heard like Mia Yim and Drew McIntyre. They're like, when we left or we got fired, we felt like a failure. And it's like, no, you weren't failures. You were in a system where some 78-year-old alleged crackhead didn't know how to use you. And I hate the people. I hate wrestlers when they feel like that and it's not their fault. And so they say sometimes they go back for a point to prove of, look, I can be a draw. And sometimes it really is just that. I can prove, let me prove to myself that I can be the top person in WWE.
Eric Young requested his release. His big thing was with Vince of like, you can't find 5 minutes a week to book me on TV. Like, and I feel that, like if you don't have 5 minutes of screen time a week, like you're kind of wasting away there.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. I've said it a lot before, right? That I do still think that even though AEW is a viable competitor for all intents and purposes, and TNA's been doing its thing for a long time now, WWE is still the top of the rung, right? And you can see that people still want to go there to prove what they've got to do. And Naomi going back is one of those times where you can see that, right? That it's like WWE is the biggest, they're still the biggest dog in the yard, and that's where you want to go play, right? So, I guess it makes sense. I guess it is what it is. It just seems weird to me. Me personally, I don't know. It seems to me if the money isn't that much different, I'd rather be the bigger fish in the smaller pond. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not her, and she has to make her own decision. So, let's see. Number one, that was your number one favorite woman, Naomi. So I guess we've all given our top 5 favorite women.
Yeah.
Some kind of, no real, well, a little crossover, but not not too much. Let's see. So the last thing we were going to do was preview Dynasty for Sunday. It's on Sunday, April 21st. Is that right? Yeah. April 21st. So let's see. I had the card and then I lost it. Let me get it here. Hold on. AEW Dynasty card.
Let me say
I don't
this.
think you don't like how I said Sunday.
It snuck up on me, and I could have sworn this mug was at the very, very end of April. I don't know, and maybe I wasn't paying attention. That's on me. But I'm like, daggone, is this Sunday? Sweet
It's this
Lord.
Sunday.
It feels so freaking. It felt like it came in fast and hard. Pause.
It came in fast. That's what she said. Let's see here. What is on the card so far? Okay. I'm going to go in no particular order here. I'm just going the way it reads here on the list here. Number one on the list here, Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. What do you guys think about this match? What do you expect? Who do you think gets the win here? I asked my other buddy, who's a diehard wrestling fan, and he said 100% Will Ospreay gets the win here. He thinks he thinks Danielson's on his way out, so he's happy to put Will Ospreay over here. And since Will Ospreay's a young guy that basically needs the win over the veteran GOAT, that's why he's got to happen here. I guess I'll just kick it off real quick since I was already talking. I don't mean to dominate the conversation, but
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. The thing is that yes, all that is 100% true. At the same time, like, this is his farewell tour. How many losses is he going to take on his farewell tour? He's already taken some losses, right? And so, in my opinion, I kind of want to see a draw. I think a draw would work here. I think a little 30-minute time limit draw would work to just show that we're pretty much still on equal footing. I mean, we're not going to get a chance to see it again, but at least Danielson doesn't take another loss here. And Will Ospreay, they both look good in draw and in a good draw. I mean, I don't know.
Now that you say that, I think that's exactly it. They're going to do a draw, and then they're going to bring the match back at Double or Nothing.
Oh, you think we're going to see it again at Double or Nothing?
Because, like, when they announced it, I'm like, at Dynasty? This is new. Like, this is like Will Ospreay versus Danielson. That feels like a top 4 AEW pay-per-view. So it's like y'all just gonna give. All right, fine. So yeah, I think that should definitely be at Double or Nothing or at All In, and I think All In is too close to him being retired. So it's like I get it, but it's gonna be a great match, and like you said, I am kind of tired of the whole "I'm leaving, so let me put you over." No, you know, that shouldn't be all your matches. That shouldn't be every freaking match. So, but I am down. Although I do think that AEW to watch themselves with the time limit draws, I will be fine with that. And then they run it back at Double or Nothing. But it's going to be
certain guys. Go ahead, Sammy.
We also need Danielson versus Okada again. One more time.
I think there are certain guys that you can always safely get away with the draw with, especially when you have them wrestling each other, because it's such a big match and these guys are so good that, you know, a draw with these guys is never out of the realm of possibility. So I think that's why it works. But yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I think it would be amazing to have them go to a draw and never see it again. It's ended with a draw. You never actually know who's better. You never actually know who's better. It's just a debate forever. Who's actually better? Was it Will Ospreay at 26 years old or Bryan Danielson at 40 years old when he was retiring? Like, who was actually better? If they had a draw, but one time they wrestled each other, and that was it.
I think it's good. I think it's good for storytelling. Of like, they draw the first time, but because Will Ospreay is still getting better and better, that when they bring it back, that he defeats him in the second time.
Yeah, they've already done that with Kenny Omega, though, right? I mean, that's the Kenny Omega story, right?
And that's why I say no.
Will Ospreay lost 2 times and then came back, and now I'm 4 years farther down the road, and I'm better and I'm stronger, and now I can beat you. We've already seen that Will Ospreay story. I mean, in my opinion, I want to see the irritated Will Ospreay. I want to see the Will Ospreay that's now haunted by Bryan Danielson because he never has a chance to have that match again. And somehow they still continue kind of Danielson's backstage somehow on commentary. Somehow they work it in. And I don't know, but it's just like that thing that eats at Ospreay. I never got that second match with Danielson. We drew, 8 years ago. And to this day, I'm still pissed that I never got another match with Bryan Danielson type of situation.
No, he doesn't want. Okay, so he doesn't want to torture somebody for the rest of their lives. No, that is not how this works. And I'm yelling because that's what we're going to freaking. We might get that with freaking Omega and Danielson, and I don't want that either. They still need to run that back. So no, some stuff needs to happen to see who's the freaking best.
I mean, if you think about it, there's a million more matches for Bryan Danielson, but that's because we don't ever want him to go away. I mean, you can always think of one more match that Bryan Danielson should have with somebody, right? I mean,
I totally get it, but Omega Danielson, it only happened once, and I'm pretty sure they thought they was going to run it back.
Right. Yeah.
Why didn't they run it back? It's been freaking 3 years. God. Okay, fine.
If we're gonna do the storyline of a person being haunted by losing to Bryan Danielson, we need to do it to Christian's young boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me take that burden up.
All right. So I picked draw. What you guys? Are you actually picking a winner? Or are you guys both thinking to draw also now?
I said Will Ospreay. Draw's not an option on the prediction card.
Okay.
But
you went Will Ospreay.
Yeah, draw was not an option on the prediction card.
No, it was not. I'm just making that prediction here while we're talking here.
So I'll go with Danielson.
I picked Ospreay on our prediction card, but I do think it's going to end up being a draw.
In the effort to get number 2 at Double or Nothing, Danielson. If Will Ospreay wins, there's no reason to run it back.
All right. So Samoa Joe versus Swerve. Does Samoa Joe retain his title, or does Swerve become champion? AEW World Champion.
Listen, I get the do it now before you miss the moment. Samoa Joe's my champion, though. I have enjoyed Joe being champion. I'm not even going front. I'm not even but I get it. It's Dynasty.
I'm going Swerve, but I will be perfectly happy if Joe wins. But I'm going Swerve.
In my mind, when Swerve wins, I think it should be one of the big 4. So I'm like, even though Dynasty just got here. No offense, we're gonna give. I'm going
Can we not hate on the special pay-per-views? Like,
I'm not hating, but no, you just got here, little baby. You don't get a freaking T-loin steak. And you just got here. No, get the freaking breast milk in your mouth and get fed. But you ain't getting a freaking T-bone steak with all the special effects and seasonings. No.
Unless you're Julia.
Say it again.
Unless you're Julia, and then you get a big T-bone steak and all the fixings.
Yes. Because it's Raw. Raw's been around for Raw's been around for 20 years. Freaking Dynasty just got here a couple months ago.
But hey, I'm all for Wrestle Dream at World's End and Dynasty being treated as huge things. Like, I'm here for it. And I think that AEW has been needing more pay-per-views. The 4-year was a little lacking.
Okay, so I do think they needed more, but I don't think they needed one every month. And I hope they don't.
Yeah, we don't need 12.
I hope they don't
need 12.
But I do enjoy 8.
8's fine.
Yeah, 8. I think 8's okay. I mean, I think 8's okay.
Well, it's 9 with All In.
Yeah, I mean, I personally
because it's back-to-back weeks on that. I don't know if you count All In and All Out as separate or the same. But
they're separate, even though crackhead Tony Khan, no offense, allegedly wants to put it a week difference. They're different. They're two different periods. You're paying $50 for each one. There's no deal unless there is.
Yeah.
All right. So it's 9 then.
Yeah,
yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I like the 4/5. I mean, I think it made it more special. I do think, obviously, you probably needed, another big show here or there because 4 might not be enough. But they do a lot of special dynamites, and I thought those worked fine. I like the Fighter Fests and the, all the special dynamites that they do. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
at World's End, that's New York, right?
That I don't know.
Wait, say it again.
At World's End, that's New York, isn't it?
It was in New York, yes.
Okay, so you got Wrestle Dream Seattle, at World's End New York, and Dynasty St. Louis. Like, those are shows I'm happy to have every year. Same place, same time. I'm completely down for it. And those are 3 big wrestling cities. Seattle is huge. New York is huge and huge history with wrestling, and St. Louis has one of the biggest histories of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go Harley Race.
Yeah, no, I mean, so far, I mean, it's okay. I just don't want to see. I do think when WWE was doing a pay-per-view every month, it became too many. I mean, I do think 12 a year is too much. So I don't want to see that.
For anybody who's trying to do the math, the one that we didn't name is Forbidden Door. That's the other one. That's how we get 9. In case you were wondering, that's how you get 9 Forbidden Door. But Forbidden Door, I don't think it's set to be in a specific town. I think Forbidden Door can happen anywhere, can't it?
Well, yeah, but those other shows aren't just set for all those specific towns either, right? I mean, every single time.
They could be. Well, we've only had him once, but I would not be surprised if he wants to do it back in the same place again next year.
Yes, I mean, I thought the whole point was to take shows to different places. I mean, why should Wrestle Dream be exclusive to Seattle? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it'd be nice if it's here every year, but at the same time, that doesn't make any sense. There's nothing about it that makes it exclusive to Seattle. I mean, move it around, let somebody else experience it. Take it to another city where you haven't had a show or something. Or would seem to me, but.
Like case in point, Double or Nothing, it argued that they need to get out of Las Vegas. Like, let's see what happens this year. But if that crowd isn't hot, then yeah, you need to move that to someplace else.
And I think it's I think you could argue that just in general, AEW spends way too much time in Chicago.
Well, that's because of CM Punk, and hopefully because of that.
I mean, they're there a lot, but I mean, they've been there 5 years. They've spent a lot of time in Chicago.
Tony Khan's also from there, so
yeah. So,
okay.
But the first Forbidden Door was Chicago, but the second one was Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Sammy, you went Swerve.
Yes.
Anika, are you picking Swerve?
I'm picking Joe.
You're picking Joe.
I'm picking Joe.
This is one of those that I know Swerve's going to win here, but it's a little bittersweet.
I'm willing it not to happen. Come on, Hangman. Let your hatred come back and ruin this for Swerve one more time.
It's bittersweet because I love Joe, and I think probably if you really put a gun to my head and asked me who I liked more, Samoa Joe or Swerve, I probably am a bigger Samoa Joe fan than I am Swerve. I love Swerve, but I absolutely love Samoa Joe. So I don't want Samoa Joe to lose the title, and at the same time, Swerve is as red hot as he's ever been and is ever going to get, in my opinion. And I think if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, I just don't. It seems like now's the time to do it. So I just, for me, it makes sense that you do it here. And, Joe's had that title for a while now. And to be fair, I love Joe, but he is older. He's been injured plenty of times. I don't know how many more title defenses he has in him. I don't know how many more, defending it every other week he's been pretty active with this title. So, and even leading up to getting the title. So he probably needs a little bit of a break at this point. So it wouldn't surprise me if he loses here and goes away for a couple weeks or, a month or two and then comes back in some way, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know, but I think Swerve wins here.
Yeah.
All right. Young Bucks versus FTR in a ladder match for the AEW World titles.
It's got to be Young Bucks, right? Let's complete the heel elite with all the gold.
I this sounds so fucking weird, and I know that I'm in the minority here, but when you see Young Bucks versus FTR ladder match for titles, you should think 7 stars, fireworks going off. This is going to be the greatest thing ever, right? And it has been in the past. And it's shown that. It's shown that. At the same time, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way right now about it, and I feel like we've been there, done that. I feel like this is already almost too much of a good thing if that's possible. Like, I just don't need to see this match again. Like, I don't know.
You say ladder match in FTR, only one match comes to my mind, and that was when they faced the New Day. That's the only ladder match I ever remember for them.
Like ladder match that is more Young Buck based. Even though FTR, I have no doubt they can get it. They can get it, and it'll be an awesome match. But that really is geared more towards Young Bucks.
No, I didn't necessarily mean the ladder specifically. I just mean when you include these elements, right? When you have these two tag teams, you have a ladder, you have a title, all of these elements involved. You look at that on paper and you think, fuck, this is going to be potentially the best match of the show. And in theory, it could be, and it very well might be. I'm just saying, me personally, it doesn't have the same that it did the first few times we've seen it. We've seen both these teams as champion. We've seen them face each other. I'm ready for something else besides the Bucks and FTR to be fighting for those titles. I just am.
No, well, I feel as though
one of the best things about AEW when it started was their tag team division. It's taken a little bit of a dip. It's taken a little bit of a dip the last year and a half or so. But I still think they've got a ton of really strong tag teams. And a lot of tag teams that haven't had a chance to be title holders yet. And yet we have these guys that are going to be second, third, fourth-time title holders. It's like, come on already.
Speaking of which,
go.
How the hell are you going to break up Proud and Powerful and you never even made them champs? Like, I am still ticked off.
Yeah.
I woo sawed it and I let it go. But I think, like, here's the thing. They're running it back because they should have done it right after Wembley last year. I think that was the plan, but FTR didn't want to do it. And it's like, sometimes you gotta be the boss. Like, I don't care what you want to freaking do. We're doing the freaking match. So we can get it the freak over with. So we have to do it the next freaking year.
Speaking of Wembley, so All In will be a UK show. All Out will be a Chicago show. Double or Nothing will always be a Las Vegas show. A lot of these pay-per-views, they are in the same city every time.
Like you said, if you have
Revolution
three
and
of
Full
them,
Gear are the ones that flop.
if you have three of them, that's fine to stay in the same place. But I don't think all of them should stay in the same place. Definitely not.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, we've
Meanwhile,
only had
it's
one
looking
wrestling stream, so one is hardly you can't make it. You know,
only
that's not a sample size.
only one only one World's End, and this
Right.
is going to be the first Dynasty this Sunday.
Right.
So
Right. So I
all
mean,
three
let
of
me
these
see.
are
I
just
mean,
the first time.
right.
But
If
I
indeed they
think
show,
it's great to keep them in the same city because like those are three cities where wrestling is big, wrestling is popular, and people will go and watch.
But burnout is real as but burnout is real as the two. Because like I said, I go back
But
to Dynasty.
it's once a year.
But no, go back to freaking Double or Nothing. That last Double or Nothing, that crowd was not into it because they probably been through three more. So like I said, they got one more time to be in Vegas and see if it's good or not, and they gotta move it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Would you move it to Atlantic City?
Atlantic City's cool. I heard New Orleans, and I'm like,
Is gambling a big thing in New Orleans?
not a big thing, but it's big enough. And like you said, you don't have to necessarily be. I know it's called Double or Nothing, but we can we didn't have to commit to the whole casino thing.
The casino team is stupid anyhow, honestly. I mean, Double or Nothing can refer to any number of things. It doesn't have to be a casino team. I mean, yes, it has been, and I know that's what they like to use, but I didn't really care for it anyhow. So
yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna name something like UK Invasion and not have it in the UK, I think it's stupid.
Yeah, but you don't have to be in London the whole time. You can go to other places in the UK though.
yeah, there's plenty of other places in the UK. Okay, so Sammy, FTR or the Bucks? Did you pick the Bucks? Are you picking the Bucks?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Bucks, but it was a hard toss-up for me.
And Anika, you're going Bucks as well?
Going Bucks, all heel elite, yes.
Yeah, I think the Bucks are going to win it here too. I think this new EVP thing, which I really enjoy, Matthew and Nicholas, I think they're going to win the belt. So
yeah,
I'm going Bucks as well. All right, Timeless Toni Storm defends her title versus Thunder Rosa. What do you all think, Sammy? What do you think of this match? And then who do you think's going to win?
I don't think Thunder's really hot right now, so I got to go Toni.
I wish they would have made this a trios where it was Thunder versus Toni versus Deanna. That would have made a little bit more interesting. It's going to be Toni, and unfortunately, that kind of sucks because going back to WWE, as of right now, besides Mercedes, who is hot enough to beat Toni Storm? That's wrestling right now.
And Mercedes is going after the other title.
So yeah, and so unfortunately, no one's right now is hot enough to be a threat. Unfortunately, so yeah, Toni's going to win. It's going to be fine
until Jamie Hayter comes back,
or even Britt Baker.
You see, CM would be having a cow church.
Like, let you know. Let's be very clear. I don't like Britt Baker, but you need people who, like, when they instantly come out, it's like, oh, okay, that's a threat. They might actually win this. You don't have anyone there right now.
So I personally think Thunder Rosa wins the title here. And here's what I think happens. I think Mariah May is at ringside with Toni Storm and Luther. And then I think Mina Shirakawa comes down during the match and gets into the situation with Mariah May and somehow costs Toni Storm the title. And then Toni Storm goes after Mina, Mariah steps in the way, and then you have Toni versus Mariah, and that explodes there because Mariah is going to defend Mina, and then you get Toni versus Mariah and the split of those two. That's what
yes, but you can do all that without Toni losing the title.
That part, like, I don't think Toni losing the title is worth it.
Yeah. You probably could, but I think the whole reason that they have the split is because Mina costs her the title. I don't think it has the same weight if she just comes down and gets involved and Toni still wins. Yeah, Toni will be irritated, but there's not enough of a conflict. If she costs her the title when Thunder Rosa should,
you don't think that's enough?
Almost.
You don't think that Tony's petty enough?
Maybe. Yeah, she probably is. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. She definitely is. She loses the title, and we know Thunder Rosa can hold that title. I mean, she's a little cold right now. She's not as hot as she has been, but she can hold that title. We all know that. So, and she has the skills to beat a Toni Storm. So, I think Thunder Rosa beats her here. Let's see. Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly for the AEW International title. They were all good. Everything was all good. They were all friendly until just recently when Roderick Strong decided to beat up on Kyle O'Reilly. And the Undisputed Kingdom had their way with Kyle O'Reilly. So clearly everything isn't okay. Roderick Strong is insecure. We know that, right? So he wants to be man. What do you think, Sammy? Who you got? What do you think?
To clarify the story, Rocky Romero was challenging Roddy for the title. And Kyle said, all right, well, hey, if you win, I'd like a shot at that. And Roddy took offense of like, you think that guy has a chance? If you want a title shot, I'm the one who you got to ask. He's like, all right, well, I'd like a title shot. And it was like, you shouldn't have done that. It's on now. Should not have done that.
You know, I mean, for all intents and purposes, you know, in wrestling, we do have a lot of conflicts around friends ultimately asking for a championship shot, right? Like, I think I deserve a shot. You're my buddy. You owe it to me. That's a wrestling trope, and it's one it's been done good and bad. It's been done, you know, where great, I'll happily give it to you because we're buddies and whatever, and then it's been done other ways where it drives a wedge in between people. So this is definitely one of those, you know, where they're using that same storyline again.
I could definitely see this being brought back again for Double or Nothing. And with another stipulation added to it, like if you lose, you join us or something like that.
Yeah.
Even though Roddy is probably the best thing for Undisputed Kingdom right now, this one isn't as clear cut as this one's more unexpected than the other matches on the card, which I do love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna.
Can we speak about that for a moment?
Can
we speak about that for a moment?
Sure.
Undisputed Kingdom should be like so much better than what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had all the pieces. They built up to this for half a year, and it's kind of a wet fart.
So here's the thing, right? And I think that there's a viable argument for this. They're solid, but none of them is great, right? You got 5 guys that have all really been mid-carders their whole lives, right?
Oh,
their
good fries.
Careers. Huh?
You said 5 guys. I said, oh, good fries.
That have been mid-carders essentially, other than Wardlow getting a little bit of a push, you know, when he had the belt for a little bit. Wardlow, I guess you can debate, but Taven, even though he was the ROH champion, has never been on a champion on a big stage. Mike Bennett's never been champion on a big stage. Roderick Strong, this is the biggest title he's held on the biggest stage in his career. All these guys are mid-carders. So when you think about it, this is really a mid-card faction that they're trying to make a main card faction. The only main card guy really is Adam Cole. He's the only main eventer in that faction.
And he's injured.
And he's hurt. And he's out really. And, you know, he's a big part of it, but he's not really because he hasn't been around, right? So they started it without him, and then he came back, and now he's gone again. So, you know, it's even debatable how big a part he is of it. So for me, you know, the idea that they were ever going to be like huge, I think was a stretch. I think they've been okay, but I do think you suffer, especially when you have Wardlow and Matt Taven, unfortunately. I think they hold the other guys back. I think they do to a certain extent. So, you know,
I thought these guys were going to be treated like the NWO.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't see that. See, the NWO were superstars. They had the big names, right? These guys were all mid-carders. Like, it's really a mid-card faction. It's an ROH faction that's made its way to AEW for all intents and purposes. I mean, so, I don't know. It doesn't really surprise me. I do think that Roderick Strong gets the win here. I do think they run it back. I think Kyle O'Reilly gets the victory next time.
The Pinnacle was better.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
And it's all about storylines and build up. They had, like you said, they just wouldn't let what's his name? Bang Sister Gang go against them for a couple of months. That would have helped. But like you just had them floundering for whatever reason.
That's another thing. Why is Bang Bang Scissor Gang at war? Like that story went by so quickly. Like you could have gotten months out of that, and instead you chose a couple of weeks. And I do not understand why that happened so fast. And now you got
Yeah.
the trios titles and the trios titles against each other. Like, is the ultimate goal here because you only want one set of trios titles and not having to have two juggle around? Is that the
Which
reason
is
why this
nice.
is happening?
Ring of Honor is its own entity. I mean, they use it as its own entity. It needs its own trios titles. I mean, why would you have the same? That was why I was saying, like, when people were talking about, oh, well, Eddie's titles are all one now. How are you going to make the Ring of Honor World Champion one with the the Continental Classic title? Like, you can't do that. Like, it's its own company. It's its own belt and its own. You can't do that. Like, if you're keeping them separate, it's got to have its own belt. So I don't know. You can't do that. I mean, you have to have both trios belts. You have the AEW's trios belts and you have the Ring of Honor's trios belts. They shouldn't be wrestling each other, but I'm not sure why they're wrestling each other. But you should have both. Yeah. Each company should have their own set of trio belts, I think, in my opinion.
Does Eddie still have two belts?
I think he has one.
No, he's got the one belt, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait.
Oh, the Continental Classic belt?
No, because he lost that to whatchamacallit?
No, it's New Japan to Okada. He lost ROH to Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, no, the Continental Classic belt he lost to Okada. He lost the Continental Classic belt to Okada.
Okay, who has the New Japan Strong title?
I think he still has the New Japan Strong title.
Okay.
So hold up. Okay. So the belt that he lost to Okada, that was the Continental belt? The
Classic title belt, correct.
Kind of foolish.
And it's a nice looking belt. It's a nice looking belt.
Yeah. All right, so did you guys actually pick a winner here? Did you say Roderick or Kyle, Sammy?
Roddy.
And Anika? Okay, so we're all going Roddy. All right, Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale in a house rules match for the AEW TBS title.
What are the rules? I
mean, I think Willow has to win here. I just think she's due. I like Julia Hart. Okay, let me rephrase that. This is the most I've liked her. This is the best she's been.
Yes.
I do think she still isn't great. When she does her little evil promo, it's not evil enough for me. It's not. There's not enough aggression. There's not enough. It's still too reserved and too. I don't know. It just doesn't hit the mark for me. She's not evil enough. And I'm a huge Willow fan. Obviously, I just picked her as my number one favorite women's wrestler at the moment. So my heart's here. My heart is here with Willow. I hope Willow wins here.
So Julia got injured again last week. This is the third time in the last 6 months. Like, give the girl some time off. Let her heal.
Yeah.
But even with that, I think she would have already lost. Just a matter of how long this match is going to go. Hopefully, she can get at least 5 minutes. Oh God! I want more. Because like you said, we all think Willow is going to win, and I want Willow's reign to be great. And it sucks that it's going to start off with an injury. Like it could still work, but that's not really a great footing for your title reign. That's why I'm mad. And so it's like, please let this match be decent. Not sure how you can get from A to B, but at least let it be decent. Where it's like, yay, Willow, you won the belt.
Yeah. All right, so I'm picking Willow. Sammy, are you got Willow or you got Anna or you got Julia? Willow, and you're picking Willow too, Anika.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving along. Okada versus Pac, or Pac, however you want to pronounce it, for the AEW Continental title. As much as I think this belt is perfect for Pac, Well, not perfect for Pac, but I think that the international belt is probably better for him. But I think
Yeah.
this is a good one. Okada's not losing here. It's only his second defense of the belt, so he's not losing here. I mean, I think Okada holds this belt for at least a while, several months, I would imagine. So, but it
Same
should be a
here.
good match.
Oh, this is gonna be a sleeper match. This is one that's like we know these two are good, but this might blow the roof off. This might blow the roof off the place. This might be match of the night.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. Like, you do have Osprey and Danielson,
But
so
you're expecting that to be good. Even though it's Okada versus Pac, the expectation is like, all right, it's gonna be decent, but it might be great. That's what's gonna make it the match of the night.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there's more room to be
Surprises.
surprised.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
And
oh,
Okada,
yeah.
in fact, right. Okay, so Sammy, you got Okada or you got Pac?
I got Okada. Rainmaker.
And Anika, you got Okada too?
I have Okada, yes.
I have Okada as well. And then the last match that they have listed here, I don't know if this will actually be the last match come Sunday, because we do have Dynasty this week and so on. But as of now, Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. What do y'all think about this match and who y'all got winning? Sammy?
I have Adam Copeland and the rated R chicken. I'm trying to remember what he called them.
It was something real stupid. The rated R
Yeah,
chicken
yeah.
hawk, something like that. And she was like,
Yeah, the rated
I
R
just made it
chicken
up.
hawk.
We know you did. It sounded like you did. That's why you don't do. That's why you don't do promo for after you got to do a match. You take your time and get your freaking thoughts together.
Why you wipe your nose and take a breath before you do your promo?
Please.
Allegedly.
Oh gosh.
So you're going with Adam Copeland, Sammy? Team
Mhm.
Cope. Team Cope. What about you, Miss Anika? What do you think about this match and who you got winning?
I love Black, but they're not. I think they're just buying their time before they leave. So Team Cope.
Interesting. Yeah, my guess is the only thing I could potentially see happening here, and I don't necessarily want to see it because I feel like I'm ready for them to be done unless we're going to see them back as a tag team, is somehow Christian gets involved and somehow costs Adam this win somehow. I don't know why, but I feel like they're not quite finished. I want them to be done, but I feel like maybe they're not. So I don't know. But otherwise I do think Copeland, Kingston, and whatchamacallit get the win here.
Yeah.
So I think House of Black loses, and then they take time off. Julia's injured. Buddy's going to want to take time off because Rhea's injured, and they can actually spend time together. Malachi can then go spend more time with his wife. And you got Brody. I mean, if Brody wants to do some single stuff, that's cool with me, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see him do some single stuff. I mean, I feel like the House of Black hasn't really been what I was hoping it would be, and he's been kind of just doing what he does. He's more kind of like the ballet for Julia Hart, and he's actually been doing his own thing, and he's so talented and so good. I wouldn't mind. I mean, he should be in the main event picture for the title. I mean, in all intents and purposes. So I mean, he's that good. I mean, I would love to see him get a little singles push and run at some point.
There was so
man,
much.
you put Brody versus the Butcher. I am there for that match.
Oh yeah, no doubt, 100%.
Take my money.
Yeah.
There is so much meat on the bone for House of Black, which is so frustrating because it's like they're over, and they're not over. You're just not letting them win, or you're not putting more thought into their referees. I don't understand why. So, whatever.
No, I mean, it's clearly harder than it looks to book wrestling shows, right, and promotions. I mean, well, we sit back and
Is
we have wonderful ideas, and but clearly it's harder than it looks because everyone seems to struggle at it, no matter who it is. I mean, even Triple H right now, who may, I don't know if people are considering him doing, as the best booker at the moment, but even if you are, I mean, even he has hiccups and troubles, right? I mean, we have issues with his stuff too. So I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy. It's one of those thankless types of jobs because no matter who it is, someone's going to be upset or someone's going to be unhappy. Someone's losing, someone has to lose, and their fans are going to be upset. So
I'd say the only real struggle Triple H ever has is with the women. Like the man is always on point, from at least in my opinion.
Yeah, for I'll give you 75% of that. I will, and yeah, like if someone's over, give them a rivalry, give them a story. Don't just let them flounder and whatever.
Yeah,
I
agree.
It's also the same with AEW too. Like that's their number one issue as well, is their booking of women. Like,
because no
New
offense,
Japan don't have that issue.
because no offense, why is there no one credible to beat Tony right now? There should be someone like, oh, not even like I don't need him to beat her, but like, oh, there's a chance. There's no one that has a chance, and that sucks.
Like the biggest one I can see is Jamie Hayter coming back, or Mariah May turning babyface.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mariah May is her biggest potential. I mean, I do think Thunder Rosa wins here, but other than that, I think that Mariah May is probably the biggest natural next opponent for her if she does beat Thunder Rosa.
Jamie Hayter's return, All In. Jamie Hayter beating Tony Storm. I can see it. But that's also several months away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it sure is. All right, well, that was the Dynasty card, and we've been on talking about this for almost 2 hours. So, unless anybody has anything else to cap it off with, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Anyone have anything else they want to say?
No, it's all good.
All right. All right, then. So until next time, thanks for joining us at the Cookout. As always, see you next Tuesday, and peace.